Hope all of you are good. Today is basically the last day of National Eating Disorders Awareness Campaign for this year. On this week, one of healthcare research organization, Syntex Health Projects, also launched their own campaign under the initiative Community Eating Disorders Awareness Initiative. Today, we have the CEO of Syntex Health Projects, Professor Dr. Madiha Malik, who is also the main lead behind this CD initiative. Good morning, ma'am. How are you?
Good morning, Aisha. I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. So, ma'am, can you tell our audience that why did you started or your company started CD, and what is the main idea behind this initiative?
Okay, Aisha, CD is something which is very, close to my heart, and it's one of those initiatives which is basically part of me. CD is basically a community eating disorder initiative, and you know that eating disorders are very much misunderstood and underdiagnosed. It's not the problem of just West; it's also the problem of developing countries. And now, like Pakistan is like ranked ninth for obesity out of 188 countries of the world. And this give me a thought that why it's happening, and most of the time it's not about how you eat, it's about your weight that still is going on, the scale shows more and more. And one of because I have also suffered with this challenge of weight stigmatization and weight management and all myself. So I always wanted to do something on for obesity or weight management, and breaking the stereotype that one should not be judged because of the weight or the physical appearance. And I always wanted to do something for this. Then International Eating Disorder organization, they basically contacted me. They read my articles, and then they said that they are basically establishing eating disorder association in different countries of the world, and they wanted me to take the lead for establishing eating disorder association for Pakistan. So that's the point where it all started. Like that's the point where it was kicked off. Then obviously I discussed it with my team, and we decided that first of all, the biggest challenge in Pakistan, that we do not have any database, or we do not have the any services for eating disorder in Pakistan. But before that, even our healthcare professionals, they are not at that pace or at that level where they can understand or diagnose, or they are doing that in their clinical practices or for identification of eating disorders. So we thought that first of all, we need to push this campaign, and we need to do some massive activity which needs to be highlighting this issue, that it is it should be well acknowledged all over Pakistan, and then we can take other steps. So that's how CD was basically established. And then on this international eating disorder, we have a very stepwise approach towards forming eating disorder association for Pakistan, obviously with the collaboration of our international partners. We have a step-based system approach for doing that, but for the first thing comes first. So right now we're just promoting awareness, and we're just highlighting the issue. And then on the second step, we would be identifying the challenges, and the third steps we would be probably generating evidence-based data, and then we would be establishing interventions and all those kinds of stuff, and then the follow-up. So we decided to go for international. We decided to launch a massive campaign. And then on the first day, we basically came up with different props. Wanted to break the stereotype. Most of the sentences which one listened during his or her life regarding weight or physical appearance. And on the second day, we interviewed certain healthcare professionals who highlighted that what are the major barriers or what are the issues related to eating disorders in Pakistan. And on the third day, we also wanted to keep it as a fun type because we really wanted to break the stereotype and stigma. So we just shoot different kind of stereotypes related to weight and physical appearance in a very funny way, to just give that message to our youth and to our community that how we can break that stigma. And then we had interviews of public, that how they perceive eating disorders among the community, what challenges do they face while they are interacting with different people. And then on the fifth day we had a poster competition on the themes, two different themes that were for this week International Eating Disorder Campaign. Last but not the least, a very important initiative which I think was which needs to be which needs to be launched in Pakistan. We have a very great problem of getting plus sizes clothes in pret wear in Pakistan, and most of the time the females, they feel very ashamed and embarrassed when they go to certain outlets and they do not have their sizes for the pret wear, even the skinnier ones, or even the those women who do not have a certain body shape, they do not have a figure in a proportion, so they have disproportionate figure. So we launched a pret with the name Dhaga, and what we did was that we said that okay, now every size must have a seat at the table. So that's the idea behind the Dhaga, and we just wanted to promote this thing that it does not matter what your size is. What matter is that how you carry yourself, like wearing the same design, and how are you going to carry yourself. And this is our tagline, that be yourself, be beautiful. So this was one of the massive, or I can say I really want to congratulate my team, because they really worked very hard day and night for this, and we launched our website, we launched our brand with the name Dhaga. And the best thing about Dhaga is, although it is specifically focusing on breaking the stereotype related to weight and everything, but the best thing is that it also has a component of women empowerment. So what we did was that we made an inventory of all those females who know stitching and who want to sit at home and earn. So all our designs are basically, and all our tailors, all our team is basically is comprised of those women who are from the rural background, or who just have skills, and who are not who don't see who do not find themselves confident enough to come into the main work stream and earn for the family. And we are giving them the same price for stitching that an average male tailor takes in Pakistan. So the happiness and the what I can say, the proud which I see on their faces for this is, I think it's worth for launching that.
This is such a great campaign, such a great initiative by the team. Mostly in Pakistan, people don't understand, and eating disorders are misdiagnosed mostly in Pakistan, because all people do not have any knowledge about eating disorders, and it is very necessary to start these awareness campaigns, so at least we can screen those persons who are suffering from eating disorders. So as you know, this week is all about eating disorders, so we would like to ask Dr. Madiha Malik certain questions so you can get more awareness about eating disorders. So my first question is that usually we hear two terms, overeating and binge eating disorder. So actually, what is overeating and what is the difference between binge eating disorder?
Okay, Aisha, this concept is also very much misunderstood in Pakistan. Like, if we talk about overeating is basically the normal tendency of any human being or any individual who who is already full, and he or she just want to eat out of the blue at different occasions, or due to his or her likeness for a specific food, but it is occasionally. But as far as binge eating disorder is concerned, it is more of a recurring episode of eating patterns which one individual has throughout his life, and where he basically loses the sense of control to stop at eating, even if he or she is full. So that is the difference between eating disorder and overeating. So most of the time, there are people who are just who are just in a habit of overeating, but we think that they are like they are having certain kind of disorder. But the most dangerous thing is this, that the people who have an eating disorder and they are basically tagged as just under the umbrella of overeating. So we really need to be very careful when we define these two terms.
As we know that obesity is on a rise in Pakistan, so what are the causes of eating disorders which you currently see in Pakistan?
Actually, if I talk about evidence-based data, the exact cause of eating disorder is not known yet. But the literature or the evidence-based data, which highlights the different reasons for certain kind of eating disorder is basically genetic. It could be genetic or it could be neurological or biological imbalance. That there is a misbalance in the brain of certain neuro disorders. So eating disorder is a kind of mental illness, and we need to understand this, that it's a disorder. So if there is something wrong with the body, and that is the reason that that particular person is compelled to adapt a certain abnormal eating behavior. So till date, the research evidence which supports the causes for eating disorder are mostly genetic or biological imbalances.
Great. So as our audience would definitely like to understand that how can they identify if anyone in their family or if themselves they are suffering from any eating disorder?
Okay, now if I categorize regarding the easy, like, for our audience, easy to understand that how you are going to diagnose between what would be the major signs or symptoms that one can become conscious, like now they are at the verge of having some eating disorder. So we can categorize it into two different types. Like one are the physical signs and the other are the emotional signs. If someone has fluctuation in his or her weight over the over 3 months, so there might be a chance. Or they have some stomach complaint, digestion complaint, or changes in some bowel movement, or they feel lethargic without any reason if they are not working so hard, but they feel lethargic or dizzy. Or if they their skin or hair color, they have certain changes in their skin and hair colors. And then if they have any acid related dental problems, the first sign with which we can easily identify eating disorder is by our teeth. And that is, I think that in Pakistan, the body part which is most neglected are the teeth. So if there is any acid based related activity going in your teeth, so you need to be cautious. So there might be a possibility of an eating disorder. And if I talk about emotional signs, so there would be there would be people who would be preoccupied with food. They would be having obsession for a certain type of food, or they might be having obsession in restricting their certain calories or their portion size. They would be very much preoccupied with having different kind of portion size. Or then another very important sign which we have, which most of the people who have eating disorder have, because they have that mental illness and then there is a stigma and all that sort of things going on. So they try to suddenly avoid social gatherings, and they just they have a very clear pattern of withdrawal from all the social gathering, because they feel that they would be body shamed or they would be linked to that stigma. So if a person was normal, attending was very much social or activist, and then suddenly he or she withdraw him or herself from social gatherings because of his weight, or if he or she is obsessed with his physical appearance or weight, then these are very clear signs for having eating disorders.
This is such an interesting information. Next question, Dr. Vidya. Can anyone choose to have an eating disorder?
Now, this is a very interesting question. That can you choose to have an eating disorder? So please, this is the most misunderstood part regarding eating disorder. It is not a choice. right? It is it is not a choice or a decision. It is a disorder. So it is not like if someone is eating too much, or it has to, link directly to the eating or, eating patterns of an individual. We need to understand that if he or she, if someone is having an abnormal eating pattern, there is a, like I've already discussed, a line between overeating and between eating disorder. So we need to understand that it is not a choice or it is not a decision that one fine morning I'll get up and I decide now, I'm going to have an eating disorder, and I started eating and I could not stop myself from, overeating. Basically, it is a disorder because there is something is wrong in your brain. There is a biological disorder, and people do not choose to have this. So that is the point which we need to understand, that these people need help. So we have to, seek for right assistance and help for these people, and the right treatment which should be provided to them in order to, manage that eating disorder.
Definitely your audience would want to know that how can we improve our eating habits, especially in today's fast-paced world.
Okay, now my first step, which I never basically, applied on myself whole life, but now when I start, and I just want to say another thing also. We are not promoting this thing that you should not lose weight. Definitely you should lose weight, but you should lose weight for your own self. Because lose weight to look healthy, lose weight to be healthy. And when I decided to lose weight, I started my weight loss journey, which is still going on, but I lost like 10 to 12 kg in the last 4 months. So the first thing which I corrected my eating habits or the pattern was that please do not skip breakfast. And that is the most important thing which you need to understand, that 80% of the females and 80% of the males do this mistake, and they skip their breakfast. Because when you take the breakfast, it is the best time. When it is the best time, it's the best food which activates your metabolism. And trust me, I just started this thing and I could see visible changes. It helped me to lose weight, and it helped me to, go along with that weight loss journey. The next thing is that, healthy eating. Please do not specify yourself for a certain, sort of food. Eat healthy, but what you can do is watch your portion size. And if you really want to lose weight, what you have to do is, like, you have to restrict your portions. And please take food more frequently after small intervals, but with portion size. And the best portion size with which you can lose weight very effectively and very fast is just the portion size of your fist. So you should be eating everything and anything at one time, but just as the size of your fist. So this will help you lose weight, and then you would be eating frequently. Like, you can take an interval of like 2 to 3 hours. It will boost your metabolism. And I think the last but not the least, which is also one of the most neglected thing in Pakistan now, is eat as a family. Because when you eat with family, like, you become conscious that people are watching you. So definitely you are going to reduce your portion size, and then when it makes you disciplined. Like, that, like, you have to eat at certain time, and then you have to sleep, and your dinner is very important. The timing of your dinner is very important, and please do not watch TV or anything while eating, because there is a psychological effect of that it will compel you to eat more. So you just have to take breakfast, and you just have to watch your portion size, and that's the two key where it would be very easy for you to adopt healthy eating behaviors.
Usually parents are the most concerned about their children and about their eating habits. So how parents can support their children to prevent eating disorders?
Now I am going to say a very narcissist thing, but still I would like to say that the biggest challenge in Pakistan or in any Asian society is this, that the body shaming or the bullying, it started at the early childhood age.
True.
and by the family. Like, you know, we discuss the color, the complexion, or our features, or you know, our body size so much in our families when the kids are small, and they are always hearing that. So that is the area where it, you know, I think where one loses the confidence. Like if I'm always bullied, or if I'm always told by my parents or my, you know, siblings or my family relatives that I'm fat, I need to lose weight, or I'm too skinny, I need to, you know, put on weight, or I'm too dark, I need to do something about my complexion. So that's the time, that's the growing age. So that is the time when, you know, the kid, any kid, loses the confidence, and then that basically becomes the part of his or her personality over the years. And then even if he tries a lot, still he or she cannot break that stigma so easily. So in our culture, the problem starts from there. So parents are the one who needs to be very careful, because they are always telling their daughters especially, watch your weight, see how much you are eating, because if you will be fat, nobody is going to marry you, or if you are doing this, so no, what people will say, you know, all that kind of stereotypes which every female listen over her life in this society. So please, you need to understand, especially the parents, if their children have some sort of abnormal eating behaviors, they need to realize that it could be an eating disorder, it could be a mental illness, it needs treatment. Your bullying will not help the child, the bullying will not resolve the problem. We need to adapt certain, you know, ethical standards, that every body is unique, every child is unique. There are very few child who, even with all these bullying, you know, cope up with all this. They have their own kind of coping strategies, and still they are confident in them. Like I was one of them. Like I had a lot of bullying at my, you know, when I was a kid, during my childhood, but still I was okay, fine. Although it made me depressed also, but you know, it was my personality who helped me to fight against it. But if I see, like my family did not left any, you know, you can see, left anything to realize me that I had, you know, certain, my physical appearance was not that much perfect to be. So I think that parents need to understand this, our society need to understand this, and our families need to understand this, that please stop bullying, stop body shaming, and start supporting.
A great message by Dr. Madhya. Stop body shaming, stop bullying, and start supporting all the families and individuals, those who are suffering from eating disorders. Thank you so much, ma'am, for today's awareness session. It was a great session, and I hope you enjoyed me, ma'am, for today's awareness session. It was a great session, and I hope you enjoyed me. I hope so. We will meet you next time with another interesting session on mental health and eating disorders. Allah Hafiz, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Aisha, and thank you all for listening to us for this discussion. And please stay tuned to our channel for more information on eating disorder. And please, in the end, I would like to request everyone who is watching us, please do support Dhaga. Thank you very much.
Thank you.